The silence in the first-class aisle of Flight 1372 broke like glass when the flight attendant, Bethany Parker, snapped, "Sweetheart, back to your seat. Not here, back there." Cameras clicked. Heads turned toward a 12-year-old black boy in a perfectly pressed navy blue suit, polished shoes, and a heart pounding fast. His name was Isaiah Washington, and seconds later, a voice echoed through the cabin that changed everything. "That's my son." The voice came from Raymond Thompson, the powerful CEO sitting just a few seats away. A man whose single sentence would turn a moment of humiliation into a story of revelation. Before we begin, take a second to like, subscribe, and tell us where you're watching from. You're tuned in to Inspire Now, where real stories remind us that dignity and truth can rise above prejudice. Isaiah had been counting down for 43 days. In a small two-bedroom home in Brookside, Atlanta, he marked his calendar every morning. One red X after another. His mom, Alicia, straightened his tie, the one Isaiah had bought himself by mowing lawns, sorting coupons for Ms. Jenkins down the street, and doing odd jobs. "This isn't secondhand," Alicia smiled. "You earned this." She pressed an old silver pocket watch into his palm. "It was your grandfather's. Wherever you go, let this remind you who you are." Isaiah adored business. At 6, he was already watching entrepreneur talks, especially those of Raymond Thompson, the tech billionaire who'd built an empire from nothing. "He came from a place like ours," Isaiah used to say, and he never forgot his roots. "I'll be like him someday." Kids at school called him Professor Business. Some tore up his notebooks, but Isaiah kept going. Then one day, an envelope arrived, stamped with the Thompson Industries logo. "Young Entrepreneurs Summit, San Francisco," it read. A first-class ticket. Hotel included. Alicia called to confirm it was real. All the letter said was, "Mr. Thompson personally reviewed the finalists." At the airport, a gate announcement echoed, "Pre-boarding for first class now open." Isaiah handed over his ticket. The agent hesitated, eyebrows raised, then smiled faintly and waved him through. At the cabin door stood Bethany Parker, the lead flight attendant. Her smile dimmed the moment Isaiah turned left. "Toward first class, sir. Economy's that way," she said curtly. "My seat's 3A, ma'am," he replied, politely handing his pass. Bethany flipped it over twice, as if searching for a mistake, then sighed. "Fine, 3A." Isaiah sat down, feeling dozens of eyes. He remembered his mom's words, "Be polite. Speak clearly. Don't argue, but never lower your head." He placed his bag overhead, touched the pocket watch for courage, and stared out at the clouds. Midway through the flight, he went to the restroom. When he returned, Bethany stood blocking the curtain between first class and economy. "Back to your seat. Sweetheart, in economy. My seat is in first class." "Ma'am," Isaiah said softly, for the third time. Conversation stopped. Cameras lifted. Bethany raised her voice. "You don't look like you belong here. Must be a system error or a sponsor ticket. Come, I'll show you your real seat." Isaiah clutched the pocket watch tighter. "My seat is 3A. I'm attending the Young Entrepreneur Summit. Thompson Industries and Entrepreneur. At 12. She laughed. "All right, let's not make a scene." Then a calm, deep voice cut through the tension. "What seems to be the problem here?" Seat to see, Raymond Thompson stood up. Sharp charcoal suit, silvered hair, the kind of presence that made rooms go quiet. Bethany's tone shifted instantly. "Sir, there's been some confusion this child." "No confusion," Raymond interrupted. "Isaiah Washington is my guest. His seat is 3A right behind me." A wave of murmurs swept the cabin. Bethany's face went pale. "I didn't realize. Why would you need to realize?" Raymond asked calmly. His ticket says it clearly. Or was there another reason you assumed he didn't belong? Silence. The captain appeared, spoke quietly, and reassigned Bethany to economy. Then Raymond turned to Isaiah. I apologize for this unpleasantness. Mr. Washington, please have a seat. Isaiah, who once dreamed of just seeing his hero, was now sitting right behind him, and his story was about to twist even further as the plane steadied. Raymond leaned back. Our scholarship program uses a unique algorithm to spot exceptional applicants. Your application matched certain criteria, and the DNA verification confirmed it. He paused, voice low. Isaiah, this isn't just coincidence. You're my son. The world froze. Isaiah's reflection in the window blurred. For the first time, he noticed the same strong hands, the same shape of eyes. For the rest of the flight, they talked about Brookside. The lawn business Isaiah started, the microloan ideas. The speech Raymond had given in 2018 that Isaiah had memorized word for word. You quoted me perfectly. Raymond chuckled. When innovation hits a wall, look back at history. Brilliant. Isaiah smiled shyly. That line changed how I think. Raymond looked at him with pride that felt long overdue by the time they landed. A video from the flight had gone viral. First-class racial profiling incident, CEO steps in. Media swarmed. Thompson Industries' PR team scrambled. And then Raymond's ex-wife, Victoria, arrived at the hotel. That evening, she called Isaiah into the lounge. You'll get your education funded, your project financed, and $5 million when you turn 21, she said coolly. In exchange, you and your mother keep your distance. No drama, no headlines. This family doesn't need another scandal. Isaiah looked down at the watch. You're trying to buy me? Victoria didn't flinch. I'm trying to protect everyone, including you. That night, Isaiah called home. His mom answered, voice trembling but steady. I already knew, baby. Since before you were born, I didn't tell you because I wanted you to grow strong, to build your name before someone tried to define it for you. If they accepted you, I was afraid I'd lose you. If they didn't, I was afraid it would break you. Isaiah wiped his eyes. I'm not going anywhere, Mom. The next morning, chaos erupted in the boardroom. Stock dropped. Journalists circled. Raymond stood firm. For the first time, he chose family over fear. In a live press conference, he said the words that silenced the room. Isaiah Washington is my son, and the future of this company. Represents what he stands for: inclusion, innovation, and integrity. He announced the Thompson Foundation, a nationwide initiative to fund young entrepreneurs from underprivileged backgrounds, and appointed Isaiah as junior board advisor. Some directors threatened to resign. Victoria's lawyers started circling again. But Raymond, for once, looked at peace. Alicia arrived quietly before the event. When she saw Isaiah in his suit, she smiled through tears. Whatever happens, remember, you make the suit matter, not the other way around. Raymond stepped closer. You raised an extraordinary young man, he said softly. Alicia nodded. Now make sure the world treats him that way. On stage, flashbulbs flickered. Raymond spoke first. Our companies must be driven not just by profit, but by purpose. This is my son, Isaiah. And our commitment is clear. Wherever there is talent, there will be opportunity. Then Isaiah stepped to the microphone, heart racing but steady. I'm from Brookside, he said. Once, someone told me I didn't belong here. That moment became my strength. We're building programs so no kid ever has to hear those words again. The hall erupted in applause for the first time. Isaiah felt the ground beneath his feet solid, his name his own. 6 months later, a new sign went up in Brookside. Brookside Business Incubator, the Thompson Washington Initiative. Inside the renovated warehouse, life buzzed. Three sisters ran a catering startup in the shared kitchen. Former gang members learned phone repair in a coding boot camp. Out back, a community garden supplied local restaurants, and at the center of it all, Isaiah, now 13 in the same navy suit, now perfectly tailored. His lapel carried a blended emblem, Thompson's Tea and the rooftops of Brookside. Dad. He called out as Raymond walked in. Same word, softer, but real. Raymond smiled wide. You did it. Isaiah shook his head. We did it. And so did the neighborhood. Alicia stood at a distance, her smile quiet but proud. A local reporter approached. Is that the same suit? Isaiah laughed. Yeah, to remind me that fabric doesn't make you who you are. Character does. Did you ever imagine that one flight would change everything? Isaiah touched the pocket watch. No, but life's not about what happens. It's about how you respond. Pain can either make you bitter or give you direction. We chose direction. Kay's ribbon-cutting ceremony began. Raymond on one side, Alicia on the other. Isaiah lifted the scissors. This place is for every kid who was ever told, you don't belong here. Now, this is our place. And we're not leaving. Applause thundered. For some, tears. Everyone knew this wasn't just a building. It was a promise. The truth of this story is simple. Prejudice always changes masks, sometimes in first class, sometimes in the boardroom. But standing with dignity, speaking truth, and refusing to bow, that's how change begins. Raymond learned legacy isn't about share prices. It's about courage, character, and who you lift along the way. Alicia proved that motherhood isn't defined by blood, but by devotion. And Isaiah showed that being told you don't belong can be the very spark that builds a future. Where everyone does, if anyone has ever told you that you don't belong, remember, you build your own place. Tell us in the comments, has anyone ever underestimated you and that became your reason to rise? If this story touched your heart, like, share, and subscribe to Inspire Now, because here, we tell real stories that remind you dignity wins, and courage is contagious. Until next time, keep your head high, your heart open, and your purpose clear.